Ain't nobody giving y'all this game this much in depth. Cry, we waiting on the cologne collection. We waiting on cologne collection. It's here. Once they get a Swift for that shit, I'm automatically beep, 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 beep up on the aura points. You wear this cologne, fellas. Them panties is dropping. Damn, this nigga got charisma. Damn, this nigga smell good. He said he do consulting. What the fuck does he do? Like, this nigga just, he's that guy. Hey, my name's Kai. What do you do? Hey, nice to meet you. Hi, 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 hi. Your voice is hella high and you talking hella fast. Slow the fuck down. You talking slow, when you talking monotone, when you talking confident, you got that cologne on, and your appearance is hitting and you smiling, right? And you playing to your strengths with your appearance, and you really that guy. And you looking her in her eye. There's nothing she can do, fellas. There's nothing she can do. The number one tip I'm gonna give y'all, YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Cry. Welcome back to another vid. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And make sure to follow me on all platforms at I Am Cry. Today we got a great one, man. I'm gonna share with you guys 6 secrets to develop aura, right? Y'all hear this word all the time, man. Riz, aura. All these new words, man. And today I'm gonna break down 6 principles. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, your skin color, your height, that you can develop today to automatically give you aura, man. Now, aura is important, man, whether it's with women, whether it's in business, whether it's in networking, whether it's in relationships, friendships. It's important to have aura, right? I preach that looks matter, right? And working on your purpose matters, and being a man of high status and being a 1% man, all that stuff is important, man. But if you don't have aura, right, it's like you're turning yourself into a robot, right? You have to know how to deal with people, right? And navigate through this life in different ways, in different situations. So that's what I'm gonna break down today, fellas. So without further ado, man, let's get right into it. First secret to develop aura is charisma. All charisma is, fellas, is the ability to draw people to you and make them feel good. And I'm gonna break down some things that you can do to have the best charisma, bro. I consider myself to have amazing charisma, and it came with work, but it also came with some principles that I learned, as time progressed. The first thing to have charisma with your aura is to let people talk, right? As human beings, man, one thing you gotta understand, man, is that everybody is in their own shell, fellas. Right, so when you meet somebody, all somebody wants to do is speak about themselves. Speak about what they got going on, what they plan to do, what they just did, whether it's their kids, their vacation, their goals, their workout routine, their diet, the show they just watched. People just want to talk about themselves. Every day, people are constantly have, I believe it's over 100,000 thoughts a day, somewhere around there. I want to say 20 to 100,000 thoughts a day, right? When they get around people, we naturally want to share those thoughts, right? Everybody does. So think, okay, Cry, how can I use this to my advantage? If I'm around people and I know they always want to talk about themselves or talk, let them do that, fellas. Like, people don't care what the fuck you got to say. People only care about if you care about what they have to say, right? So use that to your advantage, right? Again, all charisma is people like being around you, right? So when I get around people, I'm letting them talk. Bro, whether it's a date, whether I just meet somebody at the gym, whether I'm at a fucking work gathering, right? I'm letting people talk, right? And once they get talking, another thing you can do, fellas, is ask questions based around what they're saying and seem genuinely interested. 48 Laws of Power talks a lot about this, fellas, but when people are talking, right, and How to Win Friends and Influence People talks about this too. When people are talking, and let's say they say, yeah, like I'm really, me and my wife, we saving up to get this house, right? And you like, oh yeah, okay. Where y'all thinking about getting a house at, right? Or how long y'all been saving up? How many places have you looked at yet? How's your realtor? I may be looking at some houses too. Right? Seem genuinely interested instead of saying, oh, you're looking at a house. That's cool. I like to rent. I'm in a renting. Like you causing unnecessary tension. Rather you looking to buy a house or not, it's going to do you justice in the realm of aura to ask questions based off what they're talking about. They don't give a fuck what you got going on, what you talking about, bro. People care about themselves, bro. Right? This is 2025. Right? So ask questions based around what they talking about, right? And another thing that you can keep in mind with this is to just be what that comes along with aura, fellas. And it's kind of hard if you're a young man, but this is why it's so important to just study the game and read so many books and be well versed, because you want to be well-versed intellectually. So what does that mean? That means, fellas, I'm so well-versed intellectually, it doesn't matter what people are talking about. I know a little bit about it, right? You want to get to a point, fellas, where you know a little bit about everything. So it doesn't matter who you meet, what they like, what they into. You know a little bit about it, that you can make certain comments and ask questions around it and know what you're talking about, right? I'll give you an example. I was at a work event, right? And I know and I was talking to my CEO, and my CEO is real into Elon Musk and Alex Hermosi and all these like high profile individuals and entrepreneurs, because he sees himself in that light, right? So I make sure when I'm around him, when I'm having conversations with him, I'm speaking on things that they talking about, or I'm bringing certain things up, right? And as I'm doing that, he's lighting up. Like he wants to keep talking to me, keep speaking to me, right? Keep talking about things that are in his head regarding that subject, right? That's one. Then in the same event, fellas, I go talk to another employee, and we talking about the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, right? But I'm well versed intellectually. I can talk to somebody about Elon Musk, and then I can talk to somebody about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. You get what I'm saying? I can talk to somebody about fucking getting hoes in college, right? And then I can talk to somebody about turning your life over to God, right? Like I'm well versed. You feel what I'm saying? It's important as a man to be well versed. And when I speak about, cutting things off and being a man of your purpose, don't get so closed off that you're not intellectually well versed. Like, do your due diligence to be. I always say you want to check all the boxes as a man. You want to know a little bit about everything, fellas, right? To a point, like I said, when you in conversations with these people, it don't matter what they talking about. You might know a little bit about it, right? Another thing that can go with this, man, and some people will say this toxic, I don't think it is to study your victims, right? This is a great tool with charisma, right? Study the people that you about to talk to before you even talk to them, right? This works a lot with women, right? I'll give y'all some game. When I'm with a woman, when I'm first meeting a chick, when we first linking up or whatever the case may be, let's say we follow each other. Let's say shorty posts a story to a Drake song. I'm gonna make sure that Drake song play in the car. You dig what I'm saying? Because I studied it, right? So now she thinking like, oh my God, this nigga got the same music taste as me. Oh, he playing my song. This is my song. We was meant to be. How does he know this song? When in reality, baby, I just went through your little stories and I seen you playing it. You dig what I'm saying? But it's not even just with women. I remember the first interview with the job that I have now. The first person I was interviewing with on their LinkedIn profile said they were very into books. Ironically enough, y'all know I love to read. So in his profile, he had his book list, right? Ironically enough, in the interview, he asked me, do I read and what books I read? I made sure to say the books that he and I both read. You dig what I'm saying? I believe it was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think it was another book that we both had read. I made sure to say them two books. His whole face lit up. He like, oh my God, I gotta push this guy to the next interview. He reads the same books I do, right? Not knowing, but bro, I did my research on you before I spoke with you, right? So these are all things you can do to gain charisma. Rather you going on a date with a chick, rather you going on a business event, whether you going on a networking event, right? Whether you got a call with a client, right? These are all things you can do to possess charisma. One last thing that is kind of, this is kind of toxic as well, fellas, but it's effective, is that one thing you have to understand about people is that everybody wants to feel empathy. Everybody wants to feel understood, right? So you can have the most simplest conversations with people, fellas. I want y'all to start listening to people talk instead of just thinking about what you're going to say. Because when you start listening to people talk, you can notice what they're secure about, what they're insecure about, what they're confident about, what they're unconfident about, fellas. You can learn all of these things, right? And a lot of times, man, when you doing all these things I just mentioned as far as charisma, people are going to start opening up to you about things that they're insecure about, things they're unconfident about. And when they do, fellas, a great way to possess aura and to get people to just love being around you is to empathize. What does that mean, Cry? This means to be like, damn, like I understand where you come from. I can only imagine, right? So like every time I see my uncle, right? My uncle is talking about, because my uncle is a very successful man of God. you know, married to my aunt, kids. He works a lot, man, but he's very well off financially. So every time I speak to him, he's very fatigued. He's very tired, right? So I make sure to validate that in that light. That's why he loves that. I'm his favorite nephew, right? And I make sure to be like, Dad, I know you've been grinding, Unc, or you look tired, man. I know you've been putting in them hours, right? You know what I'm saying? I empathize with him, right? And he's like, damn, like my nephew understanding me. And when in reality, I do understand him, but I know that people love empathy. I know that if I can relate to him or show him that I understand where he's coming from, it's going to make him not only feel better about himself, but feel better about being around me. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with women. Let's say you meet a woman, right? And women are open books, fellas. So with women, it's kind of easy. A woman will meet you and get to saying, oh yeah, like, all like, I remember back in my single days, man, I had met a chick and she was talking to me and we had just met and she was just like, yeah, it's just so hard, like, to date nowadays. Like it's just, it's so easy for men, but like women, like, we have it so hard. In my head, I'm thinking the complete opposite. I'm thinking like, bitch, actually it's not. A woman can walk outside naked and 10 men are gonna wanna fuck. If I walk outside naked, people are calling the police. So it's much easier for women to find love, sex, relationships than men. But to her point, what she was saying was that basically, fellas, me being up on game, all she was saying is that her standards were too high and the men that she likes, that she thinks she's qualified for, they don't like her, right? So instead of me arguing with her and proving my point to her, which is going to do neither of us justice, but just argue and have a disagreement, I empathize with her. I said, yeah, you right, man. It's a lot of bum niggas out here, man. Like, niggas be fumbling bags. Like, I'm gassing her up, but I'm empathizing with her. Right? And she talking to me like, damn, like, this nigga really understand me. And in reality, I just know you need some empathy, baby. Right? So this stuff is toxic, fellas. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's effective and it works in the realm of aura. Number 2, cologne. Man, one of my subscribers, man, I don't know his name, bruh. His name like Mila something, man. He's been asking me since the day I started my channel to drop the cologne collection. Cry. We waiting on the cologne collection. It's here. I'm finally giving y'all the cologne sauce, doggy. So get your pen pad, you know what I'm saying, and write this down, man. I'm gonna give y'all 3 colognes. We're gonna start with worst to best, but they all smell good as fuck. Cologne is very important, man. It's a quote that I like to live by. I want to get chose with my mouth closed. When I walk into a room, the gym, a business meeting, a party, bro, if I walk past a motherfucker, once they get a swift for that shit, I'm automatically beep, 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 beep up on the aura points, fellas. Because I smell good, right? You always got to smell good, fellas. I don't care where I'm going. I'm spraying some scent on me. Whether it's the grocery store, the gym, church, anywhere, a date especially, anywhere I'm going, the airport, nigga, anywhere I'm going, I'm spraying some cologne. But without further ado, man, let's get right into it. $1 Million Paca Rabanne, man. This is, oh my goodness. This I recommend, you know, if you're not trying to break the bank and you still want to smell good, this is the cologne for you. This is only about $125. Has a sweet smell. It's a little sweet, spicy, like vanilla, strawberry smell. Like, I'm versatile with colognes. I like strong stuff and I like sweet stuff, right? So this is more on the sweet side, man. But this, fellas, it is a game changer, man. Like, I get so many compliments on this cologne. The only con about it is you have to spray a lot because it's not as strong as the other 2 that I'm going to mention today. But this is a great starter, man. Paca Rabanne, $1 Million. I'll put it up on the screen. Fellas, it's oh, man, you wear this. Listen, just get it, fellas. Just get the cologne, man. I'm not going to do too much talking. Number 2, YSL. I don't know the specific type of, because YSL has a few colognes, so I'm gonna put the screenshot on the screen, so when you go in to buy it, just make sure the bottle looks like this, because I honestly don't know what the fuck this one is called. But this is a YSL cologne, fellas. Now this one is way more strong and more masculine. Like, you only need about 3 squirts of this. I wear this a lot to the gym. This gives me, it's like it's a little bit sporty, but it's not as sporty as it is masculine. Like this is like the ultimate masculine cologne. Like people say that Dior Suave Sauvage is a masculine cologne. This is better to me, right? This let me spray this shit, man. Yeah, man. This is one of my favorites, man. And how much is this, man? This is I want to say like lower 200s, fellas. But this is a great cologne. This is a very masculine smell. Like if you wear this, you're gonna be like, oh my god, like you smell like a man. Like you like I'm trying to, yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So this is a great one. I wear this to the gym. A lot of people like to categorize colognes as like, oh, this is your gym cologne, this is your going out cologne, this is your chill cologne. I wear all my colognes whenever I want to, fellas. Like, I don't think that the specific location or event describes a cologne. I think that you as a person is what's gonna make the cologne. You get what I'm saying? So this is number 2. The best cologne in my collection is Baccarat, man. Make sure you get the red bottle. They have a clear bottle and a red bottle. Fellas, listen, man. This cologne's so good, man. Like, I've been wearing this shit every day, no matter where I go. Oh my goodness. You wear this cologne, fellas. Them panties is dropping. I promise you. You wear this, they dropping. They giving you the double take. I promise you, fellas, you walk in a room with this, it is a wrap. It is a wrap. This cologne's so good, fellas. I really didn't even want to give y'all that cologne, bruh. I really didn't. Like, I'm gonna have to find something else to mix it with because that cologne is really that effective, fellas, right? And when you walk into a room, yeah, you can have some charisma, but before I even say a word, shorty, you smell me. You like, God damn. Now her thoughts racing, right? Now she thinking, wow, this nigga smell good. He got charisma, right? Like, he seems interesting. He seems intriguing, right? Cologne is very important, fellas. Like, I wear cologne everywhere you go. Right? You got to smell the part at all times, fellas. It's extremely important, man. And this one is about, this one is the most expensive, fellas. This one is about $350, right? So it all depends what your budget is, fellas. But these are all in different budgets. The first one was Paco Rabanne was $125. The YSL is about $250. This is about $350. You just got to find what works for you, what works in your budget, fellas. But you got to smell the part at all times, man. It's extremely important. The third secret to aura is maintain mystery. People don't like people that they got figured out and that are predictable, fellas. It's so important in short-term relationships, long-term relationships, short-term conversations, long conversations, a party, a business meeting, anything to have some type of mystery. Right? The greatest tool that you have in your arsenal is not what you display to people. It's what people think about you in their brain. It's about what they, all of the scenarios and thoughts and predictions that they have of you in your brain is your most powerful tool. I'm going to give you guys a few tips on how to maintain mystery. The first one is short answers, right? As I mentioned in the first one, to let people talk, this kind of goes along with that, but as you're talking, people will ask you questions as well, especially if they're good conversators. They're going to ask you questions, right? Like, when I used to be single cry, when single cry used to meet women used to ask me, hey, what do you do? I keep it very short. If I want it to be more smooth, I'll say something like, I do what it takes. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shorty like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, baby, I do what it takes, right? Or some of y'all be in my comments like, Cry, what do you do? I say consulting, right? Consulting can be 20 different things, right? I'm maintaining that mystery. I don't want you to have me figured out. And a lot of times, once people have information about you, they put you in a box, right? Like if I were to tell a girl, yeah, I'm a chef, she like, oh, this nigga, all he know how to do is cook, or, oh, he gonna be cooking for me. Now she done put me in a box. You dig what I'm saying? You never want people to push you in a box. You want to keep people on their toes. You want to keep people guessing. People keep asking about, like, damn, this nigga do consulting. What's consulting? Right? Like, damn, this nigga got charisma. Damn, this nigga smell good. He said he do consulting. What the fuck does he do? Like, this nigga he's that guy. That's what you want people to be thinking, whether it's men, women, business partners, friendships, relationships. You got to keep people on their toes, man. Secondly, it's to speak with purpose. This is one of my favorites, man, and I've seen this work wonders for me so many times. Fellas, I challenge y'all when y'all at a dinner, next time you at a dinner with a lot of people, I say more than 4 to 5 people, do this. While you at the dinner, when you get there, introduce yourself, be polite, right? But don't speak for like 20 to 30 minutes. Just listen. Don't nod your head when people talking. Just listen, look, listen, look, listen, look, listen. People are going to start asking you what you think. And when you do speak, you're going to demand attention from the whole fucking room. It's crazy, right? All because you speak with purpose, fellas. I don't want you to just speak to speak. I don't want you to just feel like you have to say something to fill in the awkward silence. That indirectly shows you're weak. That indirectly shows you lack confidence, right? If I'm speaking with somebody in business, it's a little different. But if I'm speaking to somebody in a friendship or relationship or just casually, I'm not filling in sentences or trying to continue the conversation. Like, I don't need to do that. You don't need to do that, fellas. Listen, 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 listen. And when you do speak, everybody's listening. When you do speak, everybody values your opinion, right? I used to do this a lot with my last job. We used to be in meetings. We have a topic or a conflict. Everybody's saying their opinion. Everybody's disagreeing. Everybody's agreeing. Then my boss was like, well, Crowd, what do you think? And then when I finally speak, everybody's just like, who is he going to agree with? Is he going to agree with us? Is he going to agree with them? What does he think? He's been silent, right? Are we talking too much, right? I demanded respect from the whole room. I commanded attention from the whole room just because I'm speaking with purpose, right? I remember a lot of times as a young man, I would just be chatting. Like I'd be with my friends, my family, anybody, just chatting. Right? Just trying to keep the conversation going, trying to make the other person laugh. Fellas, you don't have to do that. That's like I said before, that indirectly shows you're inconfident. That indirectly shows that like you don't have enough bandwidth and self-respect for yourself to just understand like you don't always have to be speaking, fellas. Just shut the fuck up. And when you do speak, it's powerful. Last thing, and this is something that I learned from the 40 Laws of Power, and it's ironic enough because I've always been like this. So it was weird. It was like something I was born with. But never brag about yourself and your accomplishments. Let other people do that for you, fellas. Right? So a lot of times when I'm around my family and around their friends or other people or people that I used to know from a long time ago, my family will be bigging me up like, oh yeah, Cry doing this thing. Like you see how strong he is, you see how in shape he is, his YouTube growing, right? He's making all this money, he driving a BMW. They're doing all that for me. I don't have to say none of that shit, right? You shouldn't say none of that shit, fellas. Celebrate the wins in silence, right? It's good to acknowledge the wins when you in the mirror by yourself like, damn, I did that, damn, I did this. Right? But when you around people in a social setting, you don't have to do that. Let people do the talking for you, dog. Especially with women, bro. It is so attractive to a woman when like you like she hearing that you that nigga from other people. It's literally gonna soak her up, fellas. Right? Like I told this story before a long time ago, man. But one time I was in the gym, right? And there was this chick, man, and we was talking, blah, blah, blah. And she was getting to know me, blah, 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 blah. I was getting to know her, blah, 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 blah. And then we separated for a little bit. Then as I'm walking out, I didn't get her name. I'm like, I didn't get your name. What's your name? She's like, my name was blank, right? So as I'm walking out the gym, an old man is right behind me, right? Remind you, fellas, I'm flourishing right now. Like I got on a nice gym fit, cologne busting, fresh cut, fresh pump. Like I'm really looking like that guy. Right? So after I get her name, I'm walking away and it's an old man behind me that I'm cool with in the gym. And the old man is like, isn't he so handsome? Isn't he really that guy? Or something along those lines. I believe he said, isn't he so handsome? Like this nigga was old as fuck, fellas, like 80. And and I don't know what the chick said, but that put a point on the board for me, fellas, because When I'm talking to her, I'm so humble, I'm so charismatic, and then it's like somebody else just boosting me up, and I'm not boosting myself up, right? You always want to let other people do the talking for you, fellas, at all times. Number 4, appearance. This could have been fucking number 1, man. And the number 1 thing with appearance, man, that you got to understand about aura, fellas, man, the number 1 tip I'm going to give y'all, fellas, always overdress. You know how people say in the memes, like, don't go to your friend's birthday, dress better than your friend, or go to the grocery store like you're about to see your ex that just played you? Fellas, I want you to take that with everything you do in life, everywhere you go in life, every time you get dressed in life, right? It will take you a long way, man, but you have to, I don't want to give y'all too much style tips because you have to find what works for you, fellas. Like, Duke Dennis, everybody say he got aura. Everybody say LeBron James got aura. They don't dress alike, right? They found what fit them, right? Michael B. Jordan don't dress like Duke Dennis, right? You gotta find what works for you. Find what fits you, fellas, right? I spoke about this before, but I'll say it again. You don't have to break the bank to dress nice, fellas. You can go to Boohoo Man. You can go to Zara. You can go to H&M. You can go to, if you know what you're doing, you can go to Amazon. You can go to Shein. You can go to Men's Fashion Nova, right? So you don't have to break the bank to find nice pieces that fit you, right? Also want to invest in some jewelry. Some of y'all be putting that shit on. Some of y'all can dress, but y'all don't have the accessories. The accessories are very important to set off the outfit and to, when people see you, you automatically stand out. Whether you got a nice chain, some nice earrings, if it fits you, a grill, right? A nice bracelet, right? And you don't have to break the bank to do that as well, fellas. I'm gonna give y'all 2 places you can go. You can go to Cernucci, which is my favorite place, or you can go to Shop GLD. But I recommend Cernucci, man. And you can get like stuff like this. Like you can get like 4 or 5 of these and spend less than like $200. And one of these for like $50. Right, but jewelry is very important with appearance, man. You want to make sure if you're going for the James Bond look, make sure your shit fit, doggy. Right? Make sure that you're getting your clothes tailored, man. All you got to do to get your clothes tailored, fellas, is go to a fucking dry cleaners, wherever you get clothes dry clean, walk in that motherfucker and say, I want this to fit tighter. Right? Or I want this to fit like this. Show them a picture. Right? They'll get your measurements and they'll do it. It's not expensive. Right, I used to get my gym shorts tailored to create the illusion that my legs was bigger than what they was, fellas. That shit was like $15. I get my suits tailored, that shit like $20. Right, it's not a lot of money. And one thing you also have to do, fellas, is play to your strengths with your appearance. Right, if you got really nice hair, make sure that shit is glowing when you go outside. Right. Me, I got nice muscles, nice tats. I make sure I make them show. Whether it's a tight shirt, if I'm dressing up to go to church, right? Whether it's a something that's gonna show my tats and my muscles when I'm going to the gym, right? Or maybe just a tee, right, to show my tats and my muscles when I'm going out on a date, right? I play to my strengths. You dig what I'm saying? I can grow a beard. I make sure that beard is mwah every time I go out, right? Play to your strengths. Some of y'all got dreads. Women love dreads. Now make sure your dreads is on point, right? But you got to play to your strengths with your appearance. What looks good on you, right? You got to find that, right? And I speak about this before with your looks, Max, and finding your phenotype. Use your phenotype to find what works for you with dressing, right? And you'll be good to go. Number 5, voice. This is so important, man. I spoke about this before, but I'll say it again. I'm not speaking, especially with women, fellas. I'm not speaking how I do in these videos to y'all, to a chick, right? It's actually the complete opposite. Right now, my voice is still deep, but I'm projecting it so y'all can hear my message, right? And I'm a little bit more enthusiastic because I'm passionate about what I'm talking to, and I'm talking to my niggas, right? Rather I'm with the girl, right? It's gonna be way more slower, way more monotone, laid back, and smooth, right? A lot of y'all are talking, hey, my name's Kai, what do you do? Hey, nice to meet you, hi. Your voice is hella high and you talking hella fast. Slow the fuck down. You sound like a fucking nerd, bro. Right? Niggas that have aura, niggas that possess this aura, right? They talk extremely slow. They talk extremely confident, right? You don't have to talk fast all the time, fellas. You can just slow down a little bit, right? Don't use don't use don't use so. Just pause. If you don't know what you're about to say, pause and then say what you got to say. Right? Very smooth, very monotone, and very slow, right? That's it. That's all you need, fellas. When it comes to voice, when it comes to having aura, low and slow, right? And this takes practice, man. A lot of y'all, like, it's like, depending on where you were raised and depending on the people who are around, you really never talked low and slow before. So you really don't know how to do it. It takes repetition. Like, just talk to yourself in the mirror, right? Or next time you on the phone with that chick, just try to relax. Talk a little slower, right? You know what's crazy? I don't smoke, but when I used to mess with a chick that smoked, and I used to smoke a lot with her. When I used to smoke, I used to talk extra slow and extra low. So for those of you that used to smoke, remember how you used to talk when you was high and just talk like that. Very slow, confident, and low. And you'll be good to go, man. It's very simple. Last and final point, fellas, is body language. Body language is like very important with aura. Like probably out of everything on this list, it got to be top 3. Right? A lot of y'all slouch down. A lot of y'all looking away when y'all talking. A lot of y'all looking down, right? A lot of y'all playing with your nails. A lot of y'all always on your phone, right? A lot of y'all, you have to have a confidence and a it's crazy I'm about to say aura, but it goes along with your aura. Your confidence in your body language is so important with aura, right? Like anywhere I'm walking in my head high. You know who has a great walk, man? Tristan Tate. I'll put a video on the screen. Tristan Tate has a great walk, right? He walks confident up. Like when you walk in a place, fellas, you want to walk in that motherfucker like you own the spot, right? When your appearance is on point, right? When your cologne is right, you got to walk in that bitch like you're him. You can't walk in that bitch like this. You can't walk in that bitch like this. You can't walk in that bitch like this. Right? You got to walk in head high, right? So that's one of it. Make sure your posture is good, whether you're sitting down or walking, right? Then you want to make sure a smile, fellas, will take you a long way, man, right? Don't be afraid to smile, but don't smile too much, right? If you're at a restaurant and the waiter come to you and you speaking to a waiter, smile a little bit, use manners, right? Smiling is very important with your body language, right? The most important thing with body language, fellas, especially with the ladies, is eye contact, right? And this takes a lot of practice, fellas, because a lot of times, man, as a young man especially, like I would kind of get nervous looking into a girl's eyes myself. Like as a young nigga, I was like, hold on, like damn, right? But what you got to understand is that same feeling that you got as a young nigga looking in somebody's eyes, it doesn't go away for women. Women, whether they 50 or they fucking 18, women, they get butterflies and goosebumps when you staring into their eyes, when you staring into their soul, right? So when you talking slow and when you talking monotone and when you talking confident, and you got that cologne on and your appearance is hitting and you smiling, right? And you playing to your strengths with your appearance and you really that guy and you looking her in her eye. It's nothing she can do, fellas. There's nothing she can do. She's in love, right? It's nothing she can do, right? So always maintain eye contact. I spoke about that in the maintain mystery to speak with purpose. When you are speaking, make eye contact, fellas, right? But this takes practice as well, man. Like, fellas, I always talk about embracing pain. Everything that hurts in the moment is going to help you long term. This is something it's going to be uncomfortable the first couple of times you do it. Right? But just do it. And each time you do it, you'll get better at it. And you'll also start seeing the effects of it, man. I used to look women in their eyes, man, and they be like, oh my God, like, stop looking at me. My girl does that today. Right? My girl, if you watching, smack me if I'm lying. If I look at my girl too long or I'm looking her in her eyes too long, she like, stop. Like, why you keep looking at me? Right? Like, it's just something they can't take. Well, women especially, but even with men, with men, it just shows a sign of strength. Right? Like when you meet a man, when you shaking his hand, look him right in the eye. When you speaking to him, speak to him right in his eyes. Right? Well, it doesn't matter with men or women, fellas. All it really shows is a sign of confidence and strength and dominance, that you're the alpha, right? So eye contact is extremely important with body language as well, man. And those are the 6 secrets, man, right? You now got the full sauce from Cry, man, on how to get aura, man. Ain't nobody giving y'all this game this much in depth. This video wasn't even supposed to be that long, fellas, but it's so much game within this, man, that goes along with aura. And the word aura is used so loosely, right? That like, it's like, I'm like, man, I gotta really lock in with the fellas and show them what the fuck it really means. So that's the video for today, fellas. I love y'all. Peace.